Hey, what's up? This is Super Trey Gaming, and this is the host, Super Trey, or others call me the Slayer 1938. How are you doing today? This is a new gaming channel, and I'll be looking at and also testing and reviewing budget friendly and basically free games to see if they are any good, say, in 2018. I will be focusing mainly on sim racing and also first person shooters. But that is few. Those are the two genres that I like. Okay, and on that note, today we'll be starting with Warface, a first person online shooter. Free to download and free to play. Some say also pay to win. Now, this game was made by Crytek, the creators of Crysis, one of the most demanding games of 2007, and still to this day, it can still bring high-end systems to their knees at full tilt. Warface uses the same engine as Crysis, that is the Cry engine. So hopefully the visuals should be on par or comparable to the original Crysis. So, is this game any good in 2018 in terms of visual fidelity? I mean, come on, it's running an engine from 2007. Well, it is left to be seen as I review this game, so stay tuned. I will be reviewing the games based on 4 criteria. These are accessibility, mechanics, immersion, and the fun factor. Now at the end of this, I will give it a score out of 100, and each criteria will be graded out of 25. First on the list, accessibility. Now this will be further broken down into system requirements, online play, and skill level. So here we go. According to the Warface homepage, the minimum system requirements are a PC or computer running Windows 7, an Intel or AMD dual-core CPU at 2 GHz, 1.5 GB of RAM, an NVIDIA GeForce 8600 GT with 256 MB of RAM, or an ATI Radeon X 1950 with 256 GB of RAM, 10.5 GB of disk space, and a my.com account, which means that you may require an email address or an email account. This means effectively that this game can run on any desktop or even laptop made or manufactured in the last 5 years or so. Even systems with only integrated graphics processors like the Intel i3, i5, and i7 systems, or the AMD APUs or accelerated processor units. In terms of actual hard drive space, my installation of Warface currently sits at around 13 gigabytes or so. So while yes, indeed, it may just need 10 to 11 gigabytes initially, with updates, it carries it to over 13 or so gigabytes. Warface is an always online game. That means that you need an active internet connection to play the game. You also need either a Steam account or a my.com or GFace account to play the game. In terms of skill level, this is not a pick up and play game. You have to invest time to learn this game. It has a fairly steep learning curve, but you can still do well as a casual gamer. However, prior experience in playing online first-person shooters is a plus. Now we're to game mechanics. This includes physics, lag compensation, hit markers, and game pace. Physics in game is basically how close to real life the game is in terms of the interaction with the player, the player's character. and the character in relation to the environment. Some examples of this is how realistic your character behaves in the environment. That is how close to real life he behaves. Examples would be how fast your character can run, how quickly he can crouch, how high he can jump, how quickly your character can, say, reload his weapon. And in terms of your weapons and equipment, it will be basically along the lines of, say, the rate of fire, recoil, muzzle velocity, damage drop, penetration, and the like. Also, in relation to how these impact or how these are impacted by, say, your character either being stationary, moving, strafing, or crouching. And to me, um, the game comes pretty close to real life based on the equipment and the weapons in this game. There are 5 distinct firearm classes in this game. These are the sidearm, the submachine gun, the assault rifle, the shotgun, and the sniper classes. And each class has its advantages and disadvantages, and also unique characteristics. Overall, one can see that the game aims to be pretty close to realistic, or as realistic as possible, and I would say it comes pretty close to achieving that. In online gaming, lag is defined as the time it takes between pressing a button on your keyboard or mouse to it displaying on your monitor or your screen. Ping is used to measure lag. The bigger the number, the more lag you would experience. Generally, values under, say, 100 is recommended for good gameplay, especially for first-person shooters. Lag compensation seems to be a mixed bag in Warface. The game seems to grade players based on your ping, with low pingers having white bars, medium pingers having yellow bars, and high or very high pingers having red bars. The game tried to compensate by delaying the actions of low pingers. This in effect meant that players with a lot of lag or high pings were given an advantage over players with low ping or little lag. However, this caused many problems because players with low lag or low ping, what they were seeing on screen was not actually what was happening. They may have, say, seen an enemy closing in and fired a shot. However, the game would have delayed that shot by, say, 500 milliseconds, effectively giving the other player the advantage to shoot and kill the low ping player. I have personally experienced this lag compensation in the game, and in my opinion, it is not implemented correctly or properly. It needs to be revised. Hit markers can be defined as a visual representation of your hit markers hitting your or the intended target. It is usually accompanied by an audible cue, which assists the player in knowing if he has killed the intended target. Hit markers are very important in first-person shooters because in this genre, every split second counts and can be the determining factor on if you yourself are killed or actually go on a killing spree. Unfortunately, in Warface, it seems as though hit markers are shown a number of frames after you have killed the intended target, and in my opinion, may be based on the lag or lag compensation of the game. This is not desirable, as players depend on the hit markers to determine if to either A keep firing or keep shooting at the target, or to move on to another target. However, this can't be fully eliminated as we are dealing with online gameplay, which lag or delay is a factor, and further compounded by the game's lag compensation. The pace in this game is frantic. I'm speaking about the player versus player mode. It is frantic. There's no time to think, especially in some of these maps. It is just fast-paced non-stop. Fast-paced. If you lag, you will be fragged. Let me put it into perspective. You have to kill 150 enemies in 10 minutes. That is 15 enemies per minute. And some of the maps are so contained and claustrophobic that you can throw a frag grenade from one end to the other. It's either your team full on attacks or you have to full on defend, and usually the team that full on attacks wins. The frantic nature reminds me of Call of Duty Black Ops 2 Newtown map. Yes, I know you remember that. I know you all can remember Newtown. It was a kill fest. Player versus player is a kill fest in this game. Warface hit the mark as the game is not too drawn out or too fast paced. You can get 4 to 5 games or rounds within an hour or so, and this is good for persons who are pressed for time, like say working dads, moms, etc. This is the end of part 1 of 2. I did not anticipate that this would be so long. Therefore, I have decided at this time to do it in 2 parts. And we'll deal with the second set of criteria that I have listed at the beginning of this upload. Also, I will give my conclusion at the end of the second part of this video. Please feel free to give any feedback or comments in regards to this upload. Do you think that an in-depth review is relevant at this time? Am I addressing the real and pertinent issues of the game? Can this review help potential players make an informed decision as to whether to download or pass on this game? All comments and constructive criticism is welcome. Please subscribe if you like the content. Thank you.